Hey, just wanted to have a very brief video here just to kind of address assignments 1 through 3, which you have now completed. Everyone did really well. The first assignment, which was creating an arguable claim and then supporting that claim through examples and illustration. Everyone did pretty well on that. The problems that I wanted to make sure that I addressed before your first essay is that whenever you're doing a claim for a single paragraph, like assignment 1 asks you to do, make sure that first of all that the claim is arguable and something that you can prove, but you also want to make sure that you focus on one opinion or one arguable point. I don't want to write a topic sentence or a claim that says something like prom is enjoyable but a waste of money, because that's two different opinions. You're saying that it's enjoyable, but then you're also saying that it's a waste of money. You want to focus on one of those points so then you can be as specific as possible as you're coming up with your examples to support that claim. Okay, another frequent little problem that I'm seeing is a lot of you are writing in second person. That's the using the pronoun you. Most of the time for an academic paper, you want to avoid the pronoun you. The reason for this, first of all, it's directly addressing your reader, which you don't want to do because most of the time it's inappropriate. For example, let's say, back to assignment 1, let's say that you're saying high school is like a prison, like my example that I gave you, and then let's pretend like I'm using the pronoun you, okay? Well, what if my audience is not in high school or hasn't been to high school? Then I'm addressing like, well, you know what it's like. And my reader might be like, no, I actually don't know what it's like. So you're literally talking to your reader when you use the pronoun you. So it's not appropriate for academic writing. The second reason why you want to avoid using the pronoun you is it creates what is called an illogical shift in person. So most of you have heard like first person, second person, third person when you read a story and you're like looking at the narrator or something. Well, that applies for you as a writer as well. So if you start off your paper and you're using the pronoun you and you're writing in second person, that means that you're now stuck writing in second person for the entire paper. And no one writes like that. Nobody says you. And the minute you shift and say I or they, you have what's called an illogical shift in person in your essay. So I would like for us to get to the point where we're not using second person you in your essays, with the exception of in the intro and the conclusion, which we'll talk about more next week. Make sure that you are trying to use specific language. Try not to use too much vague language. So if, for example, if I say that high school is fun, okay, fun or fine, I can start to try to prove that, but what is fun? If you try to define fun or define good or awesome or excellent, you'll start to find that you kind of can't define it without repeating the word. So if I say that video games are good, and then I tried to start proving that, well, how am I going to prove that they're good? Good for what? If I try to say what is good, I'm going to start answering, well, good is, it's good. I can't even define the word good without using good. So try to avoid that vague language, just because it's going to help you as a writer be more specific as you're trying to prove your points. It's a lot easier to prove something that's specific than it is to prove something that's broad or vague. And the last thing that I want to mention about assignment 1 and assignment 3, actually, both assignment 1 and assignment 3 are really looking at claims as topic sentences. So keep this information in mind as you start working on your first essay. You practiced in assignment 1 and assignment 3, identifying and creating arguable claims as topic sentences. So as you move into writing your actual first essay, keep those rules in mind. Keep in mind that, for body paragraph 1 of your first essay, keep in mind that you want to focus on one arguable claim per paragraph. Focus that those topic sentences should be specific to that paragraph, state what that paragraph's about, but also connect back to your thesis, kind of like assignment 3. So if you have any questions about how to do either one of those, please make sure that you text me. I can meet with you guys face to face if I need to, just to kind of go through some more examples. I'm okay with doing that. I just need to know, how many people need that, or if that's even something that you guys are interested in. For assignment 2, that was creating arguable claims that are thesis statements instead of the topic sentences. Y'all did really well for that too. Some of you are not being specific enough with the thesis that you create. Remember that when I read a thesis statement, or when you read your own thesis statement for that matter, you should be able to read that single sentence and know what that entire essay is going to be about. So it's not that thesis statements are difficult. You just have to be really picky with your wording and make sure that you have a very strong understanding of what you're trying to do with that essay. That's kind of difficult to do with an assignment like assignment 2, because those ideas were not your own and you weren't actually going to write an essay on those, but you to do that assignment well, you would have had to kind of pretend like you were going to write that essay. Okay, so looking at that assignment, let's say you had I think the first one was on hunting. So let's say you created a thesis statement that said something like hunting is an enjoyable pastime. Okay, that means that you're going to write an entire essay trying to prove that hunting is an enjoyable pastime. You might be able to get 2 paragraphs out of that, but at some point you're going to start kind of running out of things to say without either straying off topic or repeating yourself over and over again. So that's what I mean by making sure those claims that you create for a thesis statement, they have to be very, very specific, and they have to be worded really well. I think the second one y'all had, the second sample, was on the behavior of professional athletes. A lot of you had a thesis that said something to the effect of people look up to professional athletes, or professional athletes behavior is scrutinized strictly by the public, or something like that. Okay, so when you have a thesis like that, yeah, you're kind of stating that the behavior of professional athletes is viewed by society, but what's your opinion about that? What's your essay going to be about with that? So you have to kind of go a step further than just restating the subject. Remember, to create a thesis, you're wanting to state the subject and then add what you're going to try to prove about that subject. So let's say professional athletes should be fined for bad behavior. That thesis, then I could have a bunch of topic sentences explaining why they need to be fined, because people look up to them, because their behavior influences children or other aspiring athletes. So it seems like maybe some of you are trying to take what would essentially be in your body paragraphs and kind of make those your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is not, it's not what goes in your body paragraphs. Your body paragraphs are proving your thesis statement. Skipping over to assignment 3, even though that was not on thesis statements, it was on creating topic sentences. Remember, on part 2, I said that the topic sentence needed to also be connected with what was in the parentheses, what was stated as what the overall paper was about. Okay, so you can see how these pieces start to connect. Your thesis statement should be specific and arguable and tell your reader what your whole essay is about. And then those topic sentences are the support. That's your proof for your thesis statement. And that's where your arguable claim of topic sentence comes in and is connected to the thesis. Again, guys, I know that it's kind of like a lot of information. It's not difficult information once you grasp it and understand how it fits together. But if you're struggling with that and feel a little bit lost, please contact me so we can meet face to face as a group. You're moving into now your illustration proposals. I'll be looking at those this week so that you can get started on your first essay. But if you look at what I'm asking for on that illustration proposal, essentially it's an outline that is giving me your thesis statement and then how you're going to create those topic sentences so that I can make sure that that organizational structure is there where the topic sentences and the thesis are connected. Okay, I know this video is a little bit long, but my intention with posting this is just to kind of hopefully let you see how these assignments are supposed to fit into what you're doing with your, where you're headed with this first essay. Again, contact me if you have any questions. Hope y'all are doing well.